Good morning, St. Alphonsus. Today's Wednesday. It's the Solemnity of the Nativity of St. John the Baptist. Today's readings come to us from Isaiah chapter 49. That's verses 1 through 6. The second reading is for Acts of the Apostles, chapter 13, verses 22 through 26. The Gospel is Luke chapter 1, verses 57 through 66 and 80. Just a quick note. Verses 67 through 79 is the Canticle of Zechariah. It's a beautiful prayer, thanksgiving to God, that I encourage you to take a few minutes to pray. But on to today's reflection. The thread that I found woven through these stories and through the responsorial psalm, which, by the way, is Psalm 139, is one of deep faith. We've got the faith of Elizabeth. We've got the faith of Mary. We have got the faith of Zechariah. Though tried and tested when he first disbelieved, when he turns around and says the baby's name is John, his faith is reaffirmed, and it follows with his canticle. But we've also got it in the first reading from Isaiah. Let me read a few lines of each of these, the ones that struck me. So in the first reading, the Lord called me from birth. From my mother's womb, he gave me my name. From the Psalm, O Lord, you have probed me, you know me. You know when I sit and when I stand. You knit me in my mother's womb. My soul also you knew full well. In the second reading, we've got, according to Paul, we've got John saying, what do you suppose that I am? I am not he. And in the Gospel, all who heard these things took them to heart, saying, what then will this child be? And it closes with, the child grew and became strong in spirit in the desert until his manifestation to Israel. So what's this all pulled together? How am I getting faith out of this? We've got the deep faith, first of all, of Mary and Elizabeth that I've talked about, and how Zechariah, it shows that he came to faith. But we've also got John and his commitment to do the will of God, to be the voice in the desert, calling people to repentance. We have Isaiah doing much the same thing, calling Israel to repentance. We've got Isaiah expressing his love for God and his recognition that without God he is nothing. That God knows us from who we are from before we were born all the way through our lives. And that, like Isaiah, who is called and named from the time in his mother's womb, which is also true of John, each of us has that same Spirit of God in us, that same calling. God knew us. We cannot even breathe without the grace of God. At any time, our lives can be taken from us. We belong wholly, fully, completely, spiritually, physically, emotionally, in terms of our intelligence. In every respect, we belong to God. We are God's grace. We have God's love woven through us. And the challenge that I have in today's reading is to have the confidence and faith that Isaiah, that John, that Paul had, to love and follow the will of the Father. So, I encourage you to take a few minutes, read the readings, pray the Canticle of Zechariah, and allow the Spirit of God to awaken in you, the Spirit that's been with you from the time that you were first conceived, before you were conceived. May God bless you and keep you safe.